It began as an ordinary night, harmless. We were at a laid-back gathering with close friends, sipping drinks and swapping stories, lost in the comfort of nostalgia and easy laughter. The mood was cheerful. I stood beside my husband, catching up with familiar faces we hadn't seen in years. As the drinks kept flowing, the conversation took its natural turn: relationships, trust, and the occasional tale of infidelity. Someone cracked a joke that set off a chain of teasing, and before I could stop myself, I added my own quip. "I bet I could cheat, and he'd never even know," I said with a playful grin. "I'm too smart for him to catch me." I intended it to be nothing more than a joke, a stupid, reckless line tossed out for the sake of a laugh. And laugh they did. The group erupted in chuckles. Even my husband let out a laugh, but his laughter felt off. It wasn't the deep, warm laugh I was used to. It was stiff, strained, forced. I shrugged it off at first, thinking maybe he was simply going along with the crowd. But as the evening dragged on, his mood shifted. He withdrew from the group, quiet and aloof, barely responding when people spoke to him. I noticed, I felt it. Something was off. When we returned home later that night, the unease followed us through the door. We went through the motions of our routine, but the silence was louder than ever. He barely looked at me. "Is something wrong?" I asked gently. He offered a vague, "Just tired," but his tone betrayed him. His voice lacked its usual tenderness. His eyes avoided mine. The next morning was worse. He moved around the house like a shadow present, but not really there. He was polite, distant, mechanical. I tried small talk, tried to joke, but he responded with little more than a nod or hum. I couldn't take it anymore. I finally asked him again, "Please, just tell me what's going on." He turned toward me, his expression unreadable but his eyes sharper than I'd ever seen. "Did you think that was funny?" he asked, voiced quiet but cutting. My heart dropped. I opened my mouth to defend myself, to say it was a silly joke, but he didn't let me finish. "That thing you said last night?" he continued slowly, "about cheating. You think that's a joke?" His words weren't angry. They were worse, the kind of hurt that doesn't shout. It just sinks deep. I stood frozen, guilt crashing into me like a wave. "I didn't mean it," I whispered. "It was just a dumb comment. I wasn't thinking." He didn't argue. He didn't yell. He just stared at me like I'd become someone else. "How am I supposed to take that as a joke?" he asked. "How do I trust you, knowing you can make fun of something like that?" His voice wasn't accusing, it was defeated. And I knew in that moment, this wasn't just about what I'd said. It was about what it revealed, about how little thought I'd given to his trust, about the possibility that maybe, deep down, I didn't value us the way I should have. After that, things only deteriorated. Days passed with minimal words, cold glances, emotional distance. I apologized again and again, tried to explain, begged for him to understand that it meant nothing, but none of it reached him. He kept repeating the same quiet sentence. "I don't know if I can trust you anymore." Then, one night, he looked at me with eyes full of sadness and said the thing I had feared most. "I don't think I can get past this. I don't think we can fix it. Maybe it's time to think about what comes next." He didn't say the word, but I felt it. Divorce. It hung in the air, heavy and unspoken. We drifted apart under the same roof, still sharing space, but not a connection. The warmth we once had disappeared, the closeness, gone. And every time his eyes met mine, I could tell he was hearing those words again, playing like a cruel echo in his head. That stupid, careless joke that I couldn't take back. I didn't know how to fix what I broke. How do you rebuild when the very foundation feels cracked? I used to believe nothing could tear us apart. Now, I wasn't so sure. Not when he looked at me like a stranger. Not when the silence between us screamed louder than any fight ever could. So I waited. I held on to whatever hope was left, prayed that maybe we could find our way back. But with each day, that hope faded. All because of one careless sentence. One moment of thoughtless humor that may have cost me the man I love. And now, I keep asking myself the same question: can something that small really unravel everything? Or did it just reveal the cracks that had always been there, waiting to split wide open?